What's going on, guys? Okay, today I'm gonna show you how you can make your own custom kicks with Kick 2. So you're not looking for kicks anymore through your sample library, you're using the ones that you created. I'm talking hard-hitting dubstep metal kicks like this. And as an extra bonus, I'm gonna be giving away 5 kicks that I've made for free. All right, let's get into it. So when you're starting a song, 2 options come to mind. You can either go to Splice and search for a while and try to find yourself a kick, or you're like me and you've accumulated maybe a little bit too many kicks over the years. And it goes without saying that more than half of them aren't even labeled properly and don't have a key attached to them, making them a headache to use. This could really be a problem when you're trying to choose something. Too many options is actually a bad thing. Consider Kick 2 as an alternative to the madness. And don't worry, you might be like, well, Jer, what do I do with all the kicks I have? Well, actually, you could integrate them into Kick 2. Right here in the center, you've got your synthesizer, and here we could synthesize the low end of the kick. We've also got 3 samplers to the right where we could layer in actual audio. So you have the option of recording your own samples and making a totally custom kick, or picking a few of your favorite kicks and mixing them together. You've also got envelope controls over all your sources, some effects, and a limiter, making Kick 2 super easy and fun to use. All right, so let's first take a look at the kick that I made here, and then we'll make one together. This is a segment from a sample pack that I'll be releasing shortly, and for my sample pack, I actually went and recorded a bunch of Foley and drum kits. All the samples here are original. So when I sell this, it will be 100% original. But for today's lesson, I'm gonna show you guys how to take samples from your sample library and mix them together to make a unique custom kick. So first of all, we've got our synth oscillator here. And let's just check out what the synth oscillator sounds like. And we'll have to go over here and solo this, so it's only the sub control being played. Okay, it's just the thwack, the low end of the kick. Now, different styles or genres will have different rules or applications for their kick. But for like a metal dubstep kick, it's not super important to tune your kick to a certain note. We just need it to pitch down super fast and then end up on a nice deep hit. Then the sub kicks right in. If it was like a big room track or a trap track, then, you would really want that note to resonate out the end, but we don't really want that in this situation. Okay? And then, like I mentioned, I have a bunch of kicks that I recorded from real drum kits. And let's go ahead and check out what this sounds like. Okay, we've got pitch, length, and I'll kind of go over all this in just a second. Start point, low, high pass filters, okay? And then here's a snare. Okay, and you'll notice that it's not the full snare, it's just the end of it. And again, I'll show you how that works in a second. And then I just got this clanky kind of Foley percussion that I recorded. All right, cool. So it's blending all of these guys together when you get that super cool kick, okay? We've got a little bit of EQ down here in the bottom that I don't really tend to use. Sometimes I will use the distortion, and I tend to use the limiter just to, keep everything nice and neat. Again, here's what it sounds like with everything. Okay, and then in the track. Okay, really cutting through, doing exactly what I wanted to do. All right, but we said we're going to make one from sounds that you already had. So you guys know that you can go ahead and enjoy this without actually having to sample your own sounds. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this track. And we'll just kind of turn this one off. And also we'll, make sure we're not doing anything crazy here. We're not. We'll go into here and we'll reset. So you want to initialize the preset, you go right there. Okay, and this is our default sound. Okay, we got a click happening or whatever. So the first thing you're going to want to do is set your pitch bend curve. This is going to create that thud of your kick. This is the synth oscillator section. So you can go ahead and set it by moving these guys around. Remember, don't overthink the notes too much in this particular genre because we are just going for that quick pitch down into a thud. Now, that being said, I do try to end the note on the root or the fifth, and that will ground it more toward our key. But again, don't overthink each of the different points, notes. It's more of like where it ends up, right? You know, if you want it to be super low, then you can pull this down right away. Okay, it's dropping down super low. Okay, and then you got this guy here. Okay, that's nice. And then I like to end on a F. Maybe that's a little too low, so let's pull it up to, let's see where this other guy is. Okay, I like that. Then you could also curve these guys a bit. Okay, I like that. If you want to make this whole kick longer or shorter, you could use this guy right here. Cool, I like that right around there. So let's go ahead and mute this and mute this and mute this. And now let's listen to exactly what we made right here. And this could take a second to get right. Okay, I like that. Then, if you love it, you can go ahead and actually save your curve right here. Okay, that way you can come back to it later. I've done that a few times. I made a few kick curves that I liked, and then I just saved the curve. That way I can go ahead and swap out sounds over with the clicks. So now we've got our sub in here. So let me turn all of these off because this is the view. So we got our synth oscillator right here. We've created the thud to our kick. So now we can go ahead and start thinking about adding in clicks, or basically these are simple samplers. So how could we get our sounds in here? Because when I go in here, I can go to user, and all of these are ones that I have added in myself, like, you know, whether they're mine that I made or from packs. I added these in so I can go ahead and access them. Let me show you where you could do that. So you open up your Finder, and then you go to your hard drive. And if you don't know where that is, over here in Finder Preferences, you can go ahead and add whatever you want to your sidebar here. Okay, cool. So once you go to your hard drive, then you're going to go to Library. You're going to go to Application Support. You're going to scroll down to Sonic Academy, and you're going to go to Kick 2. And this is where you could add your samples right into here. You just drop them right in there, and then you'll have them accessible for you inside of Kick 2. All right, let's jump back to Kick 2. All right, we're back in Kick 2, and now we're going to go ahead and start adding in some of these clicks or using some of the samplers. So the first thing I like to do is add in the body of the kick. Now, in a lot of cases, I've recorded my own acoustic kicks and layered them in, but for this situation, I'm going to go into my users, and I'm going to go ahead and grab maybe some stadium kicks from a Cashmere pack. Okay, and we can go ahead and play that right here. And if I go ahead and solo this, now we'll be just hearing this. Okay, we got control of the pitch. We've also got control of the length and the start point. And that's going to actually make more sense if I turn it on here. Boom. And then guess what? I could zoom in here a little bit. So this is going to end up being like the body of my kick. Okay, so first of all, if we look at the start point, we can see that it's not starting right, and we could adjust that. Nice. And then I could bring the length back a bit and get that kind of just right in there. All right, and then I'm going to play those two together. So these guys are going to play together. Okay, and then I can see about if it's the right pitch, or if I want to change that, or doing some high or low cuts. Okay, great. So there we go. Now we can go ahead and look at our click amp window, okay? And we can go ahead and push this guy right up because we want him to be loud pretty much the whole time. And we can go ahead and control that reverb on the end. All right, it's starting to sound good. Here's our volume right here. Okay, perfect. So that sounds really, really good. And we could look at our amp curve for our sub if we want as well. But I'm happy with the way it is right now. But if you look right here, you see how this isn't really coming in right away on the sub. Okay, so this is a perfect spot for a transient. Okay, let's go ahead and add that in here. So I'll turn this on, and maybe this time we'll go and grab a hi-hat sound. So let's turn these guys off and look at this. Perfect. Our click needs to be brought in a bit right there. And we only really want it right here. Okay, so we only really want it to be like right in this area. And then, you know, the sub kicks in. So this is going to be acting as the transient. That's kind of a great way to know if something's mixed in right. When you mute it, how much did it go away? And if it didn't go away at all, then it's not loud enough. But if you totally missed it, then it's too loud. Okay, it's working. Now, for fun, let's go ahead and add in like a tail to it maybe. So let's go ahead in here and explore some snares. It's fun, I guess, at the end. So let's go ahead and kind of use that. So let's turn this on, and we only want that to come in after the transient, right? Okay, and now what we're gonna do is actually really finesse this over here in the clicks. So here is our, for our hi-hat, we should probably just have that come right in all the way, and then right, but it's already kind of doing that. But for now, we're just gonna be listening to the snare that we have. Okay, great, but we don't want the beginning. Okay, great. So now if we bring all these guys in, you can see how they all layer up. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of distortion. We can decide to add it to the click and the sub, or one or the other. Let's just try with the click first. And we're looking here at the limiter. I want to push into it a little bit. You can see right here, we're getting some reduction. Okay, and if we wanted to add some harmonics to our sub, we absolutely could. And I want to actually go into just tighten this. I want to go to the amp here and tighten this up. So now we've made a really cool kick that you can go ahead and save. But let me show you something that's really cool. So if I go into here and I want to start working on this now a little bit in audio, I can go right here to render. I could generate and then literally drag it into my session. And now I have a audio version of exactly what I was making. And from here, we can go ahead and edit it however we like. All right, after a bit of tweaking and processing, here's how it sounds in the track. And I always recommend you guys do that. Build your kick, maybe even in solo, to see how you like it, and then really level it and EQ it while the track's playing. I also want to tell you guys that making your drums awesome is very important, but there is one more thing that's really important to get them to stand out in the music, and that is side chaining. All right, this is a very, very important topic in EDM and music in general these days. Your drums need to hit. If you guys are struggling with sidechain, I will add a video link right here. All right, don't forget to pick up your free kicks, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, see ya.